Okay, so I think it's time that I make another video because I just read something that has me a little bit fired up, and I have kept a lot of details about this situation to myself, or have only told people in my personal life, but the way that she has addressed this publicly makes me feel like I want to share my side of the story a little bit more in full, and also outside of me processing a traumatic experience, because I'm a little bit more level-headed now. I can talk a little bit faster. So this is something that was posted on Reddit, and I don't think I'll include the person's username, but before posting this, I will get their permission, of course, to read this stuff and talk about it publicly. So this person says, she said a lot of things on the victims. I think maybe the worst is that she called her victims abusers who should take accountability for the part they played in the abuse Lexity gave them. I know at one point the narrative was that Lexity was justified in the most recent victim's story of shouting at her and scaring her because she forced Lexity to drink and then triggered her on purpose. Yes, everything she's ever said has been on a stream at one point or another. She blamed Marcy for forcing her to drink when Marcy knew she was an alcoholic, and that Marcy could never have experienced actual abuse if she thinks Lexity shouting at her is abusive. She told everyone on Instagram Live that we couldn't possibly know what it's like to be abused if we think showing an emotion like rage is abusive, and that our partners should be able to accommodate our rages if we can accommodate their sadness. Then she said that she's been abused and she knows what it's like and it's not being yelled at. So I think it's obvious that this person has gotten Marcy and myself mixed up. We are two different people. My name is Marcella. I know that's confusing. I'll link Marcy's video here as well in case you're unfamiliar or don't know who that is or what's going on. So what I want to address is saying that being abused is not being yelled at. And basically she's saying, I didn't abuse you, okay? I'm not going to talk too much on the love bombing and the manipulation, because I feel that that's not even something that she will take accountability for. She has taken accountability for yelling at me, but she is downgrading it so severely. And so I wanted to share with you what it was actually like when she was just yelling at me. The yelling went on for what felt like a couple hours. That timeline could be a little bit skewed, but it was so loud and went on for so long that at one point my ears were ringing. And of course, as I mentioned before, I was dissociating, so there was a lot of stuff that was said that I don't even remember. What I do remember was, as I said before, I would take accountability and say, you know what, I should have consoled you. I'm sorry, I understand why you're upset. Next time I'm going to do better. She would calm down. She would say, I'm so sorry for blowing up on you. You're right, you did nothing wrong. And then she would circle back around and she would say, you know what, fuck you. And then she'd go off and the same ramblings over and over again. It was just the same circle. So to me, it was like being screamed at and scared, and then, oh, she's calming down, okay, everything's gonna be okay. And then screamed at again, and okay, everything's gonna be fine, I'm safe. And then screamed at again. I don't know how many times that happened. It was at least 3 or 4. At one point, she called me a whore. I don't know why. At one point, she made the motion of like spitting in my direction, as if I was, you know, she looked at me as if I was worth nothing. And then at another point, I was cowering right here on the floor. Okay, I was in like a fetal position, and I told her, please stop screaming at me. I really need you to stop screaming at me right now. And she said, she switched up, and I'm sure you've seen this in her lives, she switched from yelling to a baby voice, and she said, if I talk to you like this, are you gonna understand me? Do I need to talk to you like a baby? Is it okay if I talk to you like this? Please look me in my eyes and tell me that's not abusive. Please. And I was just doing anything I could to go along with what she was saying and agree with her, because I genuinely felt unsafe for my life, just because I didn't know this person. I did not know her very well. We had known each other for, I believe, 4 days when this happened, so I really didn't know what she was capable of. And in that moment, I knew I had made a very terrible mistake. I'm 28 years old, and I know better, okay? I know what I did wrong. Do not meet random people off the internet and let them into your home immediately. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. Yeah, so I was just like doing everything I could to make this stop. You know, like, yes, you're right, I'm sorry, I'll do better next time. At one point I was painting her nails while she was in like a calm moment, and then she started yelling again. And she was stomping around my room. She knocked my shit over. She knocked over a large picture and my air purifier because she was like so drunk that she was stumbling around. She left. She got really mad, left, and then came back several times. When she left, she went out to her van to film the reels that she posted about like codependency or attachment with your partner. And what would happen was she would go out to her van, call me, and then come back in. And this whole time, the first time she left, I should have locked the door and been done with it. But I was so paralyzed in fear that I just sat in my bed and was trying to not lose it. I had talked about being treated like this in previous relationships, but I have never been yelled at for that long and that loudly and that aggressively. So I genuinely was terrified. I was paralyzed with fear. Okay? So I wanted to speak on that because downgrading my experience to, oh, you just got yelled at, that's not abuse, is so, it makes me so angry. It makes me so angry, but it also doesn't surprise me. So hopefully this sheds a little bit more light on what happened. I know I don't need to explain myself, and I don't need to share more details. I already have enough people who believe me, and you don't need these details to understand what's going on in this situation. But I also feel that they might be helpful in maybe people that are a little bit skeptical of what happened. It gives you a little bit of a bigger picture. And then, of course, going online and downgrading all of that to just yelling is abusive in itself. So I just wanted to share my story a little bit more, and I want to thank everyone that supported me and reached out to me once again. I don't think I would have processed this quite as well otherwise. And continue supporting the victims, and let's not spread any hate. Let's not bring her trans identity into this. That has nothing to do with this situation at all. Oh, and that was the other thing. She called me a crazy TERF, apparently, which is a really wild accusation, and I don't know where she got that, because the only thing that I have done is spoke on what happened between us, and it has had absolutely nothing to do with her identity. So thank you for listening, and I hope you continue to listen, and hopefully this video was edited okay. There's probably going to be some jumps. I'm brand new at this. I'm trying to make these videos watchable, but also I don't know what I'm doing, so forgive me, and I'll see you next time.